Well, the U.S. Senate has narrowly passed the Trump administration's proposed budget bill. House lawmakers are now hurrying back to Capitol Hill as the bill returns for a fresh vote, and that's after amendments made by the senators. If the proposed changes pass and House lawmakers reconcile with their Senate counterparts, American billionaire Elon Musk has said that he will form his own political party. On Monday, the Tesla CEO and billionaire shared a post on social media platform X saying that he will form the America Party as an alternative to the current bipartisan popularity that switches between the Reds and the Blues, basically the Democrats and the Republicans. Musk continues his tirade of criticism against Trump's bill, beautiful bill. The flag has rather caused friction between Musk and Trump, causing cracks in the once strong alliance. Elon Musk's primary criticism of the bill is the increase in national debt. If passed by both chambers of the Congress, the bill would expand the national debt by $3.3 trillion. That's between 2025 and 2034. Currently, U.S. national debt stands at more than $36 trillion. Last month, Musk had posted a poll on his social media account with the question, is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? The poll on his account shows an overwhelming positive response. But Musk's push to form a new political party overlooks one fact. America already has a multi-party system. While the vote bank shuffles between the red and the blue camps, other parties also exist in this mix. As of January 2025, there are at least 55 distinct ballot qualified political parties in the United States. Data also shows that there are 238 state-level parties. However, there are three key minor parties which have a presence in more than 10 American states, which are, number one, the Libertarian Party, which is currently in 38 states, the Green Party in 23 states, and the Constitution Party in 12 states. Despite the long list of parties representing a spectrum of political ideologies, American voters have given overwhelming prominence to the Democrat and Republican Party. This raises questions on Musk's political ambitions. Number one, does America have the appetite for another party? And number two, will the voters give the billionaire a chance to cut through the popular bipartisan system so far? And while joining us live on the broadcast is Adil Nazarian, Senior Media Fellow, Gold Institute for International Strategy. She's joining us live from Washington, D.C. Welcome to WION, Ms. Nazarian. First up, of course, Musk has said that if the bill passes, he will launch his own party called the America Party. My question to you is, how is this being perceived by the Americans? Because recent polls showed that 52% of Americans have an unfavorable view of Musk.
So great to be on with you. You know, I think if we also cite a 2024, end of 2024 Gallup poll, it did point to 63% of America's population says a third major political party is needed. I think that over 70% of American independent voters do support a third political party, and especially younger Gen Z voters and millennials are also the ones who are very much in support of this. A lot of them are, you know, they may have with the independent party, they support that, but I don't think the independence party has gotten the kind of momentum that it necessarily needs to. I mean, Rand Paul, it's fantastic, but I think if a third party is introduced, in fact, by Elon Musk, it may well, if he's able to fund it the way, for example, Soros has been able to fund the Democratic Party, Tom Steyer, all these people on the left, he has the wherewithal to do that. It could end up, honestly, you know, picking up steam and swaying a lot of independent middle of the way voters, and maybe even picking up some Republican and Democrats on the way.
But Ms. Nazarian, you speak that the Gen Z are more inclined towards a third party. But at this point of time, Musk, you're right, Musk does have the wherewithal to launch a third party. But do you think that it will be successful in perhaps disrupting the bipartisan or the two-party system that we have seen in America? Because America already has few third parties.
So, yeah, definitely. I think ultimately the two-party system will not be completely dismantled. I don't personally see, as things are now, a third party being as equal to the Republicans and Democrats. That said, if Elon Musk, let's say, does decide to go for this, he would need to honestly appeal to independents, centrists, disillusioned moderates from both sides, frankly. He would need to focus on governance, fiscal responsibility, which is what he was doing as the head of Doge, civil liberties, which many in both parties feel are at stake, and innovation. I think that he definitely has all of those under his belt, especially with his recent position as the head of Doge. And of course, considering the advent of tech and AI, he would need to embrace, which he does already, tech and direct democracy tools that would literally help him bypass traditional barriers. So I think that, yes, it could be a very viable thing. At the end of the day, it's going to be how much is he willing to not only grit, but also putting his face behind it, building the right team with the right characters, people who would be obviously aligned. And I think that he could give the Republicans and the Democrats a run, quite literally speaking.
Ms. Nazarin, we saw in the past how Musk could not really handle both his company, Tesla, SpaceX, and Doge. How do you think he will be able to manage a third party, like he says, if he launches the America Party?
It's interesting. I don't know how many people in your audience give credence to like numerology, but there are also some pretty well-known numerologists out there who have been saying, especially Gary is his name, the numbers guy. For example, this is Elon Musk's enemy year. So he's had a lot of very bad things happen to him during his enemy year, right? Because he is a big zodiac sign, it's the year of the snake. Anyway, regardless of that, I think that honestly, once his companies have obviously felt it really where it hurts. This big, beautiful bill obviously is going to hurt his companies with 1.2 billion, I think, in losses, cutting all the subsidies for Tesla electric vehicles. But I think once this 2025 comes to pass, 2026, depends on when he launches it too. Let's say he decides to launch in 2026, 2027. I think that he will not have a difficult time managing that and also his businesses, making them succeed. He's a man who requires very little sleep, from what I understand. And I think if he can recruit the right team around him, he can definitely, once he's in the clear, of course, he has to lay low a little bit more for the next few months. But I think once he's gotten through the worst of it, that he'll be able to manage everything quite well and seamlessly.
My last question to Ms. Nazarin, do you think America is ready for a billionaire candidate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that what we've seen is, look at, for example, Zohran Mamdani, who just won New York's primary election. I mean, he comes from not a billionaire family, but from a wealthy family, but he decided to go the other way, to go socialist, to go left-wing, radical, arguably. You have people who were part of, Bernie Sanders' camp when I was out covering Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Trump, and Pence during the 2016 elections. Literal kids who were from very, very wealthy, one even a billionaire family, who decided to be socialist, who frankly, that's their own perception, I suppose. Perception versus perspective, which is a whole different topic. But I would say that they're definitely ready. Look at Mayor Mike Bloomberg of New York. I think he was a really formidable candidate. That said, I do think that being a billionaire, that he's obviously not a socialist, but I think that he has the ability to rally people from both sides of the political perspective, because he's, at the end of the day, he's kind of like Trump in the sense that he takes the best of both parties. He's not one single policy oriented. His policies, his kind of ideology is able to be embraced by Democrats and Republicans alike. And at the end of the day, he's not so dissimilar from Trump in the fact that he is a businessman who's using technical and practical and scientific methods, basically, to fix the issues in the U.S. government and as an extension beyond. So I think America is ready for that. And I think that at the end of the day, we all know that it is only a billionaire candidate, probably, that could effectively change the direction of the U.S. politically.
Right, Ms. Nazarin, thank you so much for joining us here on Race to Power with your insights.
Thank you.